welcome to my plus size grandma with Miss Coco Bowden. Woo! So we're on part 3, y'all. My sister was gonna come on in. We were gonna talk about how we did a lot of guys, and time got away from me because of the simple fact was that I had another show to do tonight called The Gospel Talk, so I didn't get a chance to. By the time we got done, it was 11 o'clock. So I'm just now recuperating, getting ready to boil me some eggs because I really want a boiled egg for some reason. Like it's just in my spirit to have a boiled egg with some black pepper and hot sauce. Okay, so, but back to part 3 of this thing. I'm talking about confessions of my men box. Of my man box. I should have said man box. I don't know why I said men. But my man box contained 70 people, which I would call them victims of my revenge. That's the only way I can name it, is to say victims of my revenge. Y'all, at the same time, I'm trying to boil these eggs up. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all don't feel me. A sister is hungry because I had to study, so I didn't get chance. But when I think about that, you know, and people look at me funny, ask me, why you want to put something like that on Facebook or on here? And it's simply because it is my testimony of how God took my bad habits and turned them good. And that's what it is. And that's what my life is now. Y'all, that's doggone eggs. That's what my life is now, just getting out and letting people know who don't want 4 or 3 eggs. 3. That's what I do now, is get out and let people know, you know, this is how wicked I was. Don't ever think a person can't be wicked. Because this is how wicked I was, that I was doing men like this because I was hurt. You know, the thing about being passive aggressive is it's dangerous because a person is holding so much in that they don't know how much they got in them. And then when it does come out, it comes out in a rage. And anything that's within them, within that path, is destroyed, including kids and all. So I make it my business, and I'm over it as far as like healing wise. I'm still dealing with stuff. I'm over the fact that I'm over the shock of it, but I'm still healing wise when it comes down to getting everything out that I pushed down. And I'll tell you, I was one that didn't believe that, you know, you could actually be so mad that you black out and you push stuff down and it just be somewhere waiting to come up at the right time, you know. I was one that didn't believe that until it happened to me. So when we get back talking to about these guys, you know, I was pretending to be 3 different people. Coco. I never pretended to be Jamie. Myself, I never pretended to be Jamie. They never knew my real personality. None of them did. They never knew my real personality, which is like who I am right now. But they knew Coco, they knew Trina, and they knew Jada. So we're talking about 3 different characters that I was playing in order to get this revenge on guys who actually had not did anything to me. So I put up a lot of stuff today on Facebook, and I'm basically just telling guys, you know, don't be so desperate to get with these women because you think they look good. As a matter of fact, that's why a lot of the guys were after me, because they thought I looked good and they thought they had an advantage, and they thought because of my size that maybe, you know, I would have low self-esteem and stuff like that. And I did have low self-esteem, but I didn't show it. I did have it, but you couldn't tell because I was so wide open and so full of myself. You couldn't tell that my self-esteem was, you know, ruined. And that's what I want to talk about, is that you can't tell when a person is really hurting on the inside because their smile never really shows it. That smile can be confusing because one minute that smile can mean like everything is going great. And then the next minute that smile could mean that I'm really thinking some evil thoughts right now. You don't want to mess with me. Or it could mean this is my last straw. It could mean this is the time when I'm feeling suicidal. It could mean this is my depression smile. So you have to kind of pay attention to people's eyes as well. Because, the eyes are the window to the soul. And you can see a lot when you look at a person's eyes. Well, at least I can anyway. I can go straight from the smile and get to the heart of the matter. And, I can feel a person's heart. Like literally, if somebody's around me smiling and everything really isn't good, I can pick up on that. So, no, it's not psychic. I'm not psychic. I may be prosthetic, but I'm not psychic at all. But that's the way God made me, and I can't help it. That's who I am. Because truly inside, I'm a sensitive woman, and the things that I go through and the people I be around, I could feel everything. Everything feels like a weight sometimes, and I have to get away from people. I have to isolate myself so that I can rejuvenate, get refreshed in the spirit through prayer and, my studying of the Bible. I started saying meditation, but I don't do meditation anymore. Not like that. Only probably when I fast or something. But most of the time I'm studying and praying, studying the Word of God and praying. But these guys, though, they were so messed up by the time I got done with them. It was crazy. I couldn't believe how much destruction that was in my path. How much destruction that I left behind. It was kind of like a tornado. Just came through and just tore everything up, tore everybody up, tore myself up, tore them up. And, here you go. You got guys that don't even know what they're getting themselves into. But yet, I ain't gonna lie, some of them just wanted a booty call. And those were the ones who got the most. I'm telling you. Those, by the time Trina finished with them, I mean, I bet they even asked for any booty. Probably just turned them against, probably hurt their self-esteem because they were sending nude pics and stuff like that, and I would hit them right where it hurts. Oh, that's a little thing. What am I going to do with that? I was hitting them right where it hurted. I mean, in their pride, in their joy. And didn't have any remorse about it. Because like I said, when I was Trina, that character was just mean. She'd cuss you out. She would fight with you. It was nothing. You wasn't going to win. Either way it went, you wasn't going to win. But at the end of the day, if those men hadn't been in my path, it would have been some true destruction beyond them. I probably would have had some serious issues, some very serious issues. But instead of me accepting responsibility for what I was going through, instead I put it off on them. And eventually, though, check this out, though, even though I did that, eventually, whatever I was holding on the inside, it still came back to me. I was able to mask it for them 6 years through hurting others, but eventually that came back to me. It came back to me, and that's what I'm dealing with now, is the aftermath of all that. Now I have to live with looking back and saying, dang, I hurt those guys like that. And to know how it feels to be hurt. Some people don't recover from stuff like that. So these 70 guys, I pray for them that, God heals their heart. Because I know I did damage. I know I did. And I did it on purpose at the time, intentionally, because I was hurting myself. Now, Jada, like I said, Jada always got the guys that were mostly in prison. Jada was really sweet. She was sweet and kind of low-key shader. With the low-key shade, that would get stuck in these guys' mind, and they'd be like, well, remember you told me this? No, I don't remember nothing I told you. I would play their minds like that, like, I don't remember what you're talking about, or you just reading too much into the situation. Oh, it's not that serious. You the one who took it serious, when I know that I would prompt them and provoke them to take things more serious than what it was. And let me get to this one story about Trina, though. Trina had this one guy, and I'm not going to call his name, not even give a hint to his name, but Trina had this one guy who was really, I believe, was in love with her for just being, some guys actually love mean women, and I think this guy was in love with her for just being, like, really mean and nasty. Like, she could really handle him like nobody else could. She could pull the dark side of him out. I mean, the way that dark side came out, it never came out with me. Okay? It never came out. That dark side never came out with me. And he knew, this guy knew who Jamie was. But he didn't know that Trina was also me, too. But Trina had a way that she pulled out every dark side of him. Found out that he was that he wanted to have threesomes with people. Found out that a lot of his past was dark, that he was still seeing other women. Found out a lot of negative information on him, and I continued to play Trina. I just continued to play her, especially with him, because of the simple fact he was the one that was really trying to get in my head. And, you know, he was the one that I kind of trusted a little bit. I kind of not trusted, but I let my guard down a little bit with him. And he was the one I spent more time with than the other guys. Like, the other guys, I probably saw them, like, once every so in a while. But with him, I saw him, like, we talked every day and stuff. But anyway, Trina had a way of pulling stuff out of him. She would make him so mad that he would just bust out with all this stuff. And he messed up. What really pissed me off, though, when he said, I got her on lockdown. He was talking about me as Jamie. He was like, I got her on lockdown. And little did he know that he didn't have me on lockdown because I was Trina. And I knew exactly what to say and what to do. I knew how to change up personalities. You know, your text has a personality. So I knew how to change my personality to the text, and where it wasn't like me as Jamie or Coco, but it was specifically designed for Trina. Trina had a different way of talking. She had a different way of texting. She used a lot of abbreviations. Where Jamie would write you a full paragraph, Trina would come back with a sentence or two and stop. And whatever she said, she meant. And so Trina is like the girl I wished I could be. Not the cussing out part, but with the boldness part. I wish I could really speak in confidence like that and not worry about it. Because Trina was like, she put it out there, and whatever she said, she meant that thing. And it would hurt, and it would push out whatever he was feeling. Whatever he was feeling on the inside, he would even tell her, I hate you, or I don't like you, or I'll slap you if I ever see you. And she'd be like, I'm going to walk right up to you and kiss you in the church, because this was a church guy. That's what she would tell me. She'd be like, I know which church you going to. She basically was saying that she was a stalker, and he was still just in love with her. She said, come meet me. He'd go out of his way to come meet her, no matter what time of day it was. But now if Jamie said, come meet me, I wouldn't get an answer back for I don't know how long. Might be a day, might be 2 days. I would always get the same answer. Trina would be like, you broke. He'd be like, I ain't broke, I got money. And he'd start trying to explain himself to Trina. But to me, he never explained himself. He kept it at okay. At simple words like one word texts and stuff like that. Trina, like I said, had a way of pulling it out. Trina would go in, you broke, you ain't got this, you ain't got that, you ain't even staying in your own house, and you can't even afford to put me up to sleep nowhere. And guess what? Again, if Trina said, come get me, he would come for Trina. He would come for Trina. Whatever Trina said, he would do it. Because Trina wasn't no complainer. Trina was just a talker. She was an instigator. She didn't complain about what he wasn't doing or what he was doing, but she would just instigate and constantly just speak whatever was on my mind that day for that dude. That's what she would speak with boldness and confidence. Didn't care if he was going to leave or not. And in return, he didn't leave. He kept right on with her. So one day, Trina says she's on drugs, and she gets hold. She says that she's high, she's tired of living. She had a weak moment with him. And she said that, and the weak moment was because, let me tell you, Trina's character actually was a married woman with 2 kids. That was her character. And he knew this woman was married and still was willing to sneak to her